Hello, Sparrows. Hi, Sparrows. It is Monday, Matters of the Heart Monday. So, welcome to the room. And we've got a fabulous guest coming on with us tonight. Of course, I am Valerie Miller of TVM. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. Yes, you do. And back in Matters of the Heart Monday, we have Jessica Berry coming in with us, the Mrs., shall I say, Water Walker. We all get to find out what Water Walker is. If you've had opportunity to take a listen to her track, this actually on my timeline. So I posted it just so you can hear. She will give us a snippet of it later tonight before we close out for the evening. So I say welcome one, welcome all. If this is your first time in, if you're a follower, if you're a Water Walker, follower of Jessica's, be sure to put hashtag visitor. If you are a veteran of TVM, be sure to say hashtag veteran, as well as if you're a newbie, hashtag newbie. So hopefully, we can get Jessica in here momentarily. I've sent an invitation out to you, Jessica. It looks like, I think you've come into the room already. Let me see. You have. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can bring you on. Hopefully you've all had a fabulous Monday, start of your week. That's my hope. And you know what? There, I think I got it. Had to press and press and press. It's not allowing me to bring you on at this moment, Jessica. If you could go to the very bottom of the screen and press that double silhouette, that'll notify me and I will be more than happy to bring you on that way. So it seems to be that kind of a day for Facebook. I tell you what, we are going to be talking about so much when it comes to our faith and how we've become who we are tonight. And of course, I'm always coming in on Mondays from my book, How I Became Fabulous and a Lady All the Time. Not a particular chapter tonight, however, it's the consensus of my book, period. Okay? It's the overall book, and about my faith and who I am and how I've become just that. Okay? Yes, indeed. So hopefully I can get to this thing. Okay, I'm going to see if I can add you in. Hopeful that you should be in any moment now. Jabo, Veronica, Patricia, welcome in. There she is. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fabulous. How about yourself?
I am doing well. I made it.
You made it. At first, I was being a little bit, I said, you know what? Not tonight, Facebook. Not tonight, Facebook.
Facebook tried it. It
They
tried.
tried it,
They tried.
but wasn't successful.
No.
Not at all. So welcome
Yeah,
into the room. I just
thank you.
basically just said your name and that you are a water walker. And I'm
Yes,
so
I
excited to
am.
hear more of the details on
Yeah,
that. Cannot wait. And only you can break that down.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so before we dive on in, because of course it's unscripted, so I never sent you questions or anything like that because we're just going to free flow it.
Yeah.
It's that kind of a platform. So why don't you introduce yourself, give the Sparrows and your followers, your water walkers, an idea, shall I say, the woman behind the mic, the woman behind
hmm
the guitar. Who is she?
Yeah.
Who is she?
Um, so hello, Sparrows. Hello, Water Walkers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Valerie Miller for having me on. I'm just excited. If you can't tell, very, very excited. But I'm Jessica Berry. I am from a little itty bitty town called Hughie, South Carolina. As a matter of fact, when people ask me where I'm from, I typically say Charleston because no one's ever heard of Eugene. So I say
I
Charleston
understand that.
simply because it's recognition, but very small town. I currently reside in Orangeburg, South Carolina, which is right between Charleston and Columbia. I'm a
Yes.
mom. I'm a wife. I love God. I have two little ones, a 5-year-old and a brand new 5-week old baby. So if you hear crying in the back,
Oh,
that's her, probably looking for me. But
yes, of course.
that's who I am. And my tagline, I always say, I'm just a girl in love with Jesus. And I choose to celebrate him through song, through music. That's my way of celebrating who he is in my life and what he's done for me. That's my way of expressing. So that's like in a nutshell who I am. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've been singing since 4 years old. I remember kindergarten, well, not kindergarten, so that would have been preschool graduation. They asked me to sing, and my mom was like, "You should sing." And I'm like, "No." And so she made me sing at preschool graduation, and I've never
An
stopped. I fell in love.
indicator.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was.
An indicator. The things
Mm-hmm.
that come natural is always the thing that we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And not
Absolutely.
always, we don't know that right away. Not all of us, you know. So kudos to your mom
Yes.
for making that suggestion and guiding you in that direction because, like I said, not everyone is privileged to that. That's one of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons why I do what I do because, like a guidance counselor to adults and redirection and aligning them to get in touch with themselves and the thing that they were born to do.
Right.
So that
Right.
makes all the difference in the world. And like you said,
Mm-hmm.
coming from a small town, I understand that clearly, coming from a small town called Bethune, South Carolina. It's
Yeah.
like that. You blink your eye, you miss it. But at the same
Yes.
time, grateful for it. There's something about small
Mm-hmm.
towns, the family
Yeah.
environment,
It's
all of
it's the
that. So it's a lot of
family, the
culture in that.
community. Absolutely. The family
Yeah,
atmosphere, the community. You know everyone. You don't meet
everybody.
a stranger. You know everyone. So
No, no,
it's something to look back. And the funny thing is, you don't think about it when you're there in that small town. You're ready to get out.
exactly.
And that
The
was me. I
mission.
was ready to get out. You're like, I gotta go. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And then when you leave, you appreciate what you left behind. You
Absolutely.
know? Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. And,
Hmm.
and that's where you go to actually get some peace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go back to get some peace. I mean, I literally have no service on my phone. It says the words, no service.
No service.
So I look at it as a sabbatical, like this is
Uh-huh.
some time, because you delve into family and the
Right.
friends that you're in touch with that's still in that area. So it's much appreciated. And then at the same time, look how it sculpted us to become who we are. Even though we were rushing to leave it, we find enjoyment in going back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
bonuses. It's bonuses
Yes.
in that. Yeah. So singing since
Absolutely.
4 years old and being who you are right now. Like you said, you're a girl in love with Jesus. Got that. See,
Yes.
so understanding that too, because it gets us through all of the rough patches in life, the enjoyments of life, all of those things. And, I wrote about it in my book, how I became fabulous in the lady all the time. So that's where the platform came from when you look
Mm-hmm.
at author and artist like yourself. I write to music.
Mm.
I heal to music. All of that. I celebrate to music. Everything is in alignment with music. So, with
Music.
that being the case, it was only right to connect with entertainers like yourself because it's always a story behind the artist.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story. So, just,
Yeah.
with myself, with you writing music, you've got notes, all of that, right? With myself,
Yes.
I have literature. So it's writing, and we're expressing ourselves differently, however, the same. We're still getting the
Right.
message out, and we're still in alignment. We still have that connection, no matter what we're writing about or singing about,
Yes.
one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a privilege to sit alongside another artist, even though it's from a different walk It's just the oneness, just like God. It's
Yeah.
only one. So no
Hmm.
matter where you're coming from, who your higher power is, it's only one, no matter what you call him. So that's
Right.
how I became fabulous in essence. So it's all about faith and
Right.
how it gets you where you need to be.
Hmm.
And I don't want to jump the gun or anything. However, I'm antsy
Yes.
about Water Walker. I love it. I love
Yes.
that song.
Thank you. I'm just so
Absolutely
glad.
love it.
Yes.
It's on my Facebook page. It's been there
Yeah.
since the first time I heard it. I had to put it on my Facebook page.
Wow. Glory to God. God is so good.
Yeah.
God
And
is
look
so
at
good.
you. I said, I've got to talk to her. And quickly sent
Absolutely.
you an email just like
You,
that.
you did. You
Hmm.
did.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
All right. So, Water Walker, this is my baby. This song, literally, I had been working on this song before I got pregnant, and it wasn't released until literally right before I had my baby. It came out May 12th. My baby came June 17th.
Oh my
So, this
gosh.
song is like my baby. I have carried it. I have nurtured this song, and finally it was birthed. But Water Walker actually was written in 2015. I
Hmm.
had moved back to South Carolina from Louisiana. So I
Mm-hmm.
lived in Louisiana for 4.5 years. I went to LSU and I was there working on a PhD.
Okay.
We moved back to South Carolina and lived at home with my husband's parents while we got ourselves together and kind of got back into the flow of being adults, like adulting.
Right. Right.
So, in that time, you're in a place where it's not your home. We had just left Louisiana and we were having faith for some things. We were faithing it. We were like, Lord, we know we want our own home. We know we want to own our home. We want to be debt free. We want
Right.
all of these things. And I can remember sitting, they had this huge window. And I was just sitting in front of the window and I had my guitar. And at this point, I just picked up the guitar a couple weeks prior
Uh-huh.
because I sing all over and I got frustrated with not having a musician. So I
Mm.
prayed about it. I said, Lord, I never have a musician. What should I do? And he said, get a guitar. So I went on Craigslist and I bought a $25 guitar
Get out of here.
and I taught myself a few notes from YouTube and just sat there and just began just in my quiet time with God that I have every single day.
Love
And
it.
he began to download these words into me. And when he gave it to me, it wasn't a complete song. It was just literally, I'm a water walker, faith talker, step taker. Jesus, you are my way maker. And I just sang it over and over and over and
Yeah.
over again. And it was a declaration for me in that season as we faithed it, as we lived with his parents. We were married at that point for just about 2 years. We had
Uh-huh.
a 1.5 year old, and we were like,
Whew.
okay, where is this going, God? And he said, you have to take the step of faith.
Right.
You have to be a water walker. You are a faith talker. You have to speak those things that be not as though they
So they
were.
were.
And then he said, once you do all of those things, I'm your way maker. Give it to me. You don't have it anymore. And so those three steps, water walker, faith talker, step taker, you got to take the step. And then he said, I'm your way maker. And so that song was birthed then. And then, I just kind of sat with it. I let my husband hear it and he was like, that's amazing. You have to record that. And I was like, you think so? And he said, yeah, you got to record that
Absolutely.
one. And so I spent a couple weeks, writing the verses and everything like that. And it sat. It literally just sat there from 2015 to now. And
Timing.
kind of, yeah, and it was God's timing. And the
Right.
most beautiful thing about it is I started out with one producer out of
Uh-huh.
Atlanta. We
Uh-huh.
literally finished the entire song, and then things didn't work out.
Mm.
I wasn't happy with the final product, and he wasn't willing to change it.
Mm.
So I literally threw the first version of the song in the trash.
Did you now?
I did. We threw it away. We deleted every single thing. And I gave up on it, honestly. For 5 more months, we did nothing. We prayed. And I said, God, if you want me to record this song, you're going to send the person who's going to help me birth it. And it's going to be someone who has faith in you, who believes in you, and who shares my heart. Because my heart is
Right.
not to be famous or anything like that. I
Right.
just want to create music that draws people to you, that
Period.
encourages them to follow you, period. Not me. Don't follow me because
Right.
I have faults, but follow
Right.
Jesus. That's my music. That's my heart. That's my ministry. And
I
I
love
didn't
it.
want to work with anyone who didn't have that same agenda. So
Right.
6 months later, I got a phone call from a guy named Solomon Capers. And funny story, we grew up in Charleston together, sang on high school choirs, like all state choirs for 4 years of high school together.
No.
And we knew each other in passing, but we didn't quite know each other. And he happened to call me and he said, I've seen your ministry and I really want to work with you. Would you be willing? And of course, I was hesitant. You know, I had been burned before, but we prayed about it and God said, this is who's going to birth the sound for this season of your life. And literally from beginning to end, everything fell into place. It was
Oh
seamless.
gosh.
And
Yeah.
this song was birthed. It sounds nothing like the first version. It is what God wanted us to put out there. And so even just in getting to the point of releasing Water Walker was a water walking session. Just getting to that, you
Well,
know?
you know, sometimes you got to walk on it to get where
You
you're going. Just
do.
don't look down, have faith, and look straight ahead. Just like
Look,
he told Peter, you got to look straight ahead
keeping my eyes on
on
you.
him.
And the end
Yeah.
of the song, it ends like that, keeping my eyes on you. I literally had to keep my eyes on him because I was like, God, are we going to do this again? Is this going to work? And he said, yes, my time, my people, my way. And I had to trust him, had to step
Yeah.
off the boat and trust
Yeah.
him, keep my eyes on him.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah. And it's many times we have to do that and
Mm-hmm.
keep our hands off of it, not to manipulate, because that throws us into delay. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's where, you know, doubt comes in. Is it going to happen or not? So, knowing that, even right now, with so many things that are happening, like you keep giving all this stuff. So, what in the world am I supposed to do with it? Why show it to me if we're not going to go ahead and birth that thing out?
Mm-hmm.
You have to work on that. You know, have to constantly work on that. So, you know what? Let me just sit back, cross my legs, and just wait on it because I know it's going to be juicy. If he's giving it to me, it's going down. I just don't know when. It's going to happen.
It's going to
So just go
happen.
ahead, cross
Mm-hmm.
your legs, girl, and just get comfortable in it. And know that he loves you so much, he keep giving you all this juice. And that's how I have
Mm-hmm.
to have those conversations with myself. So when I heard that song for the first time, I got chills. It was
Mm.
chills. And even just hearing you speak about it, I got chills. You saw me, I did that
Yeah,
because you do. You have to have faith. And that's why I said what I said tonight, because faith and having unwavering faith is a difference.
mm-hmm.
Unwavering faith will definitely soar us in every area of our lives. It
Absolutely.
will.
Absolutely. And the one thing is having that faith means letting go of your agenda and what you
Uh
want.
huh.
It means
Surrender.
completely surrendering and relying
Yes.
on Christ. That's what it's about. To be a water walker means that you're not relying on yourself and you're not looking back at whatever it is
Right.
that's behind you saying,
Right.
oh, I need to go back to that. That's my comfort
Mm-mm.
zone. I want to stay there. It's stepping out into unknown, but knowing you're walking
Yes.
toward the one who knows. He
The
already
ultimate.
knows the ultimate. And that makes
Yeah.
me excited right there because you think about what's behind you and it is comfortable and it feels good and you've mastered that. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have Jesus telling you, walk away, step out, do
Leave it.
something, leave it, do something that you don't know. You're like, wait a minute. But he's like, but I already know your future. I
Right.
already have it planned. Trust me. It looks crazy. The wind is
Mm-hmm.
blowing, the water is raging. the lightning is flashing, but he's like, I
But step
got you.
outside.
Step out. Like, and I know it just sounds really crazy. And every time when I listen back to the song and I think about the part, this beginning of the song where it's like, I stepped out on the water and I saw the waves turning and I looked out on the water and I heard the wind blowing. I can imagine Peter's fear.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just how much fear sets in, and that equates to us in our lives. Like how much fear sets in when God says, write the book.
Yeah.
And you're like, do what?
That's what I
Write
said.
what?
Who are you talking to? That's what I said.
Who
Who
are
are
you
you
talking
talking
to?
to? I'm not getting ready to air my laundry, put my business in the streets. What are you talking about?
Absolutely.
It's done.
And that's proof it's done because you took the step. You trusted his
It's
word. You walked
done.
towards him.
Mm-hmm.
What if you had stayed? What if you were like, who are you talking to? I'm not doing that.
Mm-mm.
There would be no book. There would be no platform. There
I
would
wouldn't
be
be
no
right
open
here.
door.
That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
That is
this
the
song,
absolute truth. That song, and I congratulate you on that. And I'm
thank
grateful you
you.
had to go through all of that stuff, your storms, your the unnerving, the wonder. I'm grateful you had to
Hmm.
go through that in order to write it. Because we have to have
Absolutely.
our back against the wall sometimes and have no idea of direction that we're going to go in. What's next? We don't know. However, all
We
we do
don't.
know is we cannot look back. We cannot go back. Therefore, I just close my eyes and imagine a double yellow lane on a curvy road, which means I
Mm.
can't take my focus off of it because there'll be an accident. So, therefore, let me go ahead and just carry on. Take the time, be careful, be able to be sure to listen, and
Hmm.
every instruction, follow it to the letter. Just stay
Hmm.
focused, keep moving forward. And having seen things come to fruition, most people will think you're crazy. What in the world are you doing that for?
Hmm.
Because I know
Hmm.
the outcome is going to be juicy. It's been too many things that's been proven to be true because of obedience. I know what's going down. I don't know how,
Hmm.
but that preview in my mind that he showed me, I want that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have to just go toward that thing. And,
Right.
something else just kind of in my journey, like I wrote this song after the fact. I think I mentioned that I lived in Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
But that part of my life was a whole nother testimony of being a water walker. I literally was living in Orangeburg, South Carolina, working on a master's degree, got an
Uh-huh.
offer for a full ride to go get my PhD.
Wow.
In Louisiana, I knew no one, not a single person. I had no family there, nothing. I'm like, God, you want me to go where? All these schools in South Carolina, I can't go to one of these. And he said, no, this is where I need you to go. And he referred me back to Genesis, where he told Abraham to leave your family and I will make you a great nation. He
Yeah.
said, this is what I'm doing with you. I'm sending you away to build you up. So I thought I was going to Louisiana to get a PhD. So I went to Louisiana. I moved into an apartment with three women that I did not know.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the PhD process was hard, but during that time, God planted me in a ministry under leadership um, that grew me as a Christian, that grew
Yes.
me as a woman of God, a
Right.
woman of faith, as
Right.
a worshiper, as a worship leader. I went to Louisiana a singer. I could always sing, my whole family could sing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got there, I learned about worship and I learned about my response to God's love and his response to me and how to help other people connect with God through
Right.
worship.
Right.
And so when I came back to South Carolina, I was a worship leader and I was a worshiper. It wasn't just
Changed.
sing just to sound good. I was
Right.
changed, a literal
Yes.
new person. There are people who heard me who were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Who are you? You are different." And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, because God had to strip me away from everything that I knew,
Yes,
everything that
indeed.
was familiar, and put me in a place where I could be surrounded by people who were older than me, who were more seasoned than me in Christ, and who were willing to tell me the truth about the ugly parts of me and who I
Exactly.
was and what I needed to strip down and what needed to be exposed to make me better. And that was my faith walk.
Yes.
It took everything for me to leave my family and moved to
I
Louisiana,
get it.
850 miles away, and not know a single soul. The
It's
first week
intense.
I was there, the Mississippi River was rising, and they were telling me to move my stuff out of my office because it would be flooded. I can't make it up. It was crazy, and I was terrified. I was just 23 years old, maybe 23, 24, by myself. I had to
That's
be a
the
water
best
walker.
time.
I had to be a
Yes.
water
Because you
walker.
couldn't go back home. It was
Mm-mm.
purpose for you going there, and it was your time to be groomed,
Yes.
pruned, shaped,
Pruned,
sculpted, all of those
crushed, just
power,
like
yeah, beat down,
yes,
cry often, the ugly
cry,
cry,
yes,
because it's that's where understanding and believing beyond understanding comes
mm-hmm.
in. So, yeah, I get it. Because with myself, going through a divorce, moving back to the Carolinas, and then purchasing a home, rebuilding, thinking everything is just gravy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then the bottom falls out, 2008, and my job got laid off from that. Thank God,
Mm.
I'm interior designer, had that. But at the same time, working contract jobs. God said, move to Atlanta. I said, no, I'm not. And so a
Mm.
year goes by, move to Atlanta. I am not
Mm.
going to Atlanta. It's been too much of a whirlwind in my life. Why would I do that? I have this house to think about, I have responsibilities. Move to Atlanta. 2010, October, I moved
Mm.
with a friend in Georgia. Was with her probably 30 days. Moved way out south of Atlanta. May as well say the country.
Mm-hmm.
Moved out there, and it was a whole different journey for me. And
Wow.
if I had not been obedient then, think about it, it was 2 years I pushed out. Like, no. But I knew when I got there that it was purpose behind it. So I was
Yeah.
in Atlanta, and for 8 years. And then all of a sudden, one day out of the blue, he said, go back where it all began,
Wow.
which is back here to Charlotte. I told you I had recently moved back. So looking
Mm-hmm.
at for what it was, I had to move away from familiar. I figure I'm just going to come back home, rebuild here, call it a day, live my little fabulous life. No, what I didn't know, due to all those experiences from the divorce, losing my kids, all of those things, I had to be taken away from familiar, like you said. I had to be
Mm-hmm.
taken away to become who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was purpose in all of that took place before. It's
Yeah.
a part of the construction rebuild, his
Mm-hmm.
way,
His way. That's right.
his way.
And we're going to be uncomfortable. We're
Right.
going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When God calls you to something that is unknown, uncomfortableness comes with it. It's a part of the
Honey,
territory. Yeah, it comes with the territory. It's just a part of what it is.
it is. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Because
I wouldn't have it any other way.
on the other side, you see the
Right.
glory. On the other side, you
Right.
see his entire plan come together. And that's a beautiful
Oh,
thing.
yes. It
It's a
is a
beautiful
beautiful
thing.
thing. He's
Hmm.
got jokes, he's got mystery, he has everything necessary. And a lot of
Yeah.
people would say, I couldn't do what you have done.
Mm.
And to me, there isn't another option,
Mm.
because if it's put before me, I'm doing that. So I said, so basically, you're telling me if God brought you something to do, you're going to deny him. You're going to say, I'm going to fall into the line of the free will. Is that
Mm.
what you're saying? And so they were like, well, I guess so. I said, well, that goes to show you're really not a Christian.
Mm.
You're really not. You can hide behind it, because if things get ugly, that's something that you don't understand. You're not willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm opposite of that. I love challenge. I love challenges. My business is challenge based as well as spiritual. It's biblical based as well,
Mm-hmm.
the fundamentals. So looking at it for what it is, And knowing, growing the way I've grown, writing that book, completing it, and now writing the second part to it, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And look at the people that deserve our help or to read those books or work with us, listen to your songs and what it does by the magnitudes in the world. And little do you know, being in a humble place, not wanting the fame, not wanting the recognition, I could have easily, like, why couldn't you just say, do an audio podcast? Why do I have to be all live? What is that about? I like to pull the curtain from behind the stage, you know? So now here I am having to sit up front. But again, gratitude from it because I've been allowed to meet people like yourself. Otherwise, we never would have crossed paths. Never.
Absolutely.
So the gratitude in that is unsurmountable. It is. There are so many people watching right now, or will catch the replay later, that will have the chills when they hear the song like I have, because you
Yeah.
never know who needs it at any
Absolutely.
time. You never know
You
that.
never know. And that was my prayer, every time we went in the studio, the first thing we did is we prayed and we said, Lord, whatever happens as we record this song and as it's released, let your will be done. Allow this song to minister to the hearts of your people.
Yeah.
Allow this song to minister to the hearts of your people. That's just the cry. We pray that over this song so much. And so when I hear the stories of how it's touched people, it does my heart good, because I'm like, if it can impact one person,
Right.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because that's what he called me to do. That's what he wanted
Right.
for this, was to go out so that somebody, because there's somebody who's going to be listening, who's going to be like, you know what? I think I want to be a water walker. God told me to do something that I haven't done. I've been sitting in my comfortable zone. I've been afraid to do that thing. And so I'm going to stand up a little bit, because I want you to see, I purposely put on this shirt because this is what being a water walker is to me. I bought this shirt actually in the middle of recording, and I first time winning. It says fear less. And I like that because we see it together all the time, right? Fearless. Like, I'm
Yes.
fearless.
Yes.
I'm fearless. But when I read it, I see fear less.
Less.
God wants us to fear less and have more faith. Fear less and have more faith. Trust
Love it.
him. Bring your fear level down and let your faith rise up. That's being a water walker. It's having less fear, more faith. I get
Honey,
excited about it.
you should get excited about
I
it.
get
That's one of the
excited. I
three
get excited.
bullets. One of the three
Oh,
bullets of my second book. And it's
wow.
titled Sparrow Unleashed. So that's the title. And he said, be brave, be bold, be fearless. So those are the 3 points, because it takes a lot of surrendering, having faith, knowing without knowing. And that's how you become who you are supposed to become. So fearless is a part of
Absolutely.
it, and it's a part of the surrender. You better leave it all.
Absolutely. You have to. And fear will try to cripple you. Like, it literally will cripple you just
Yeah.
from doing anything. Anything that you're supposed to do. Fear will try and stop you in your tracks. But you have to speak over yourself and say, I cast out fear. I walk in
Right
faith.
now.
I'm a water
Mm-hmm.
walker. I'm a faith
Mm-hmm.
talker. I'm a step taker. Not only do I speak in faith, but I take steps of faith toward the
Absolutely.
waymaker, toward the one who's going to make that thing work. And when you
Yes.
believe that, you begin to put those words in the atmosphere, God is going to move. He's going to honor your steps. He's
You
going
get
to
more
honor
of
your
it. Right.
walk. Yeah,
Right. And you're
absolutely.
confident
Absolutely.
in
He's going to
it.
honor that. Mm-hmm.
You're confident in that. And when you do, like, push into greater, push to greater, push to greater, like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You showed it to me, do something about it. And the relationship and how I talk to him is no different than I'm talking to you right now. It's like, you know what? Not today, Jesus. Big brother, what? You told me to do
Yeah.
this. Do your part. I'm
That's
waiting on
right. I'm
you.
waiting on you. My husband always says this. He talks about the scripture that talks about bringing all the tithes into the storehouse, that they may be
Yes,
meat in my house. And then somewhere in there, he says, try me now and see. And so my husband always says that, he's like, that's what we're saying to God. Like, God, we did this. Now we're trying you. You said that
that's
you
what you
would,
say.
and we believe. That's what you said, Jesus. And so we're believing that you're going to do that. And that's being a water walker. That's taking that step. That's not allowing fear to cripple you and
No,
handicap you and keep you stagnant. God doesn't want us to be that way. You know, God
no,
says that we are blessed
abundantly.
abundantly. Absolutely.
You know, that's why I like to say, sip on this juice and let your glass be pouring over. And
That's
you
it.
can't sip on it
That's
until
it.
you receive that. And you have to receive something that you can't even see. It's
Woo!
far fetched.
Mm-hmm.
And by it
It
being that
sounds
far
crazy to
out
other
there,
people.
yeah, it does. It does. But, that's just handle your business. Do what he's saying and don't say anything else.
Yeah.
Don't say
Yeah.
anything else. Just, be mindful, show what needs to be shown. And that's having unwavering faith and
Mm-hmm.
believing that you deserve it. If he's shown it to you, it's
Absolutely.
happening. Whether it's in a song, whether it's writing a book, whether it's starting a business, no matter what it looks like, your present situation does not determine what tomorrow looks like. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. And if that's what's been planted in your heart, you need to hold on to that. Let it be enough to fight for that, to move toward that,
Absolutely.
wake up wanting that. Those types of things. That's what I'll say about it.
Yeah.
So, singing since 4 years old, coming from a
Mm-hmm.
small town,
Yeah.
is there siblings?
Yes, I have two siblings, so I'm the oldest, and then I have two siblings underneath me. They're 2 and 5 years below me, but we all
Okay.
sing. My grandfather actually, they have a group called the Richardson Starlight Singers of Hughie, South Carolina, so a quartet
Okay.
group. So we grew
Gotta
up
love the
singing
quartets.
those. Oh, you gotta love the quartet. Traveling shoes, Lord, got on my traveling shoes. That's my song. But yeah, siblings, we grew up together and they still push me to this day. They are the ones who are my biggest cheerleaders. Like, okay,
Right.
what are you going to do next?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Mhm.
Gotta love it. Family is,
Yes,
wow, it's just a blessing to have. For those of us who are
yes,
fortunate to have family to support us with something that they know is beyond us.
yes,
Because not
yes.
everyone does. And that, that's when you have to make the decisions of who stays and who goes. However, it's necessary. When it's done, let it be
Hmm.
done because you're forging
Right.
towards something that's greater for everybody
Hmm.
as a whole. Okay.
Right.
So, Orangeburg,
Hmm.
and like I said, I thought about you the other day when on my way through to Charleston. I had to shoot you a quick text message. I said, what are the
Yes.
chances of this going through Orangeburg? Let me go ahead and shoot her a note. And looking at that for what it is, and you say water walker. And my sister, my nieces and nephews, right, went over to Folly Beach. And it's just so much. I was just so determined because I know God said to me, whatever you do, get by that beach and make sure you submerge your feet in it. So it was just a
Mm.
lot of things that's going on in my mind and putting things together. And it just can be so much. Like, are you kidding me?
Mm.
It's so many people you could have chosen to do this. However, I'm not complaining, but that's a lot, man. So to go to the beach and submerge, and I have the video of all those waves coming in, and it's just like, and wrote a
Mm.
blog on it, wrote a blog on that, because those waves, as many as there are coming in, some are straight ahead, some are going sideways, and at the end of the day, every one of them coming to shore. Every one of them,
Hmm.
large or small, crashing or subtle. If we look at our lives like that and trusting every time we make one step into that ocean, that
Hmm.
something that came in, that you came with, washed away when you put your feet out in that water. It washed
Woo!
away.
They're washed away.
it washed away. And it was just almost like a purification or baptism. I said it was a baptism of
Mm.
my feet, you know. So basically reassuring myself, no matter where I walk, I got you. The wind blow, I got you. You just make sure that you follow direction of that wind. You listen
Yeah.
to the sound of those crashing waves and know that on the other side of it is always that lighthouse, because the lighthouse brings you back home
Mm-hmm.
every single time. And I, put a lot of emphasis on the lighthouse and the power of that light, because light is direction. Water gets into every crevice. You have to trust it. There are
Mm-hmm.
times you may feel like you're drowning. No, that's just God saying, trust me. Trust me in it. I know it sounds nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. I know it's people whispering. "Tsk, tsk, tsk." Trust me. Who cares? I don't. But at the same time, you have to be a water walker.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be that sparrow. The sparrow pretty much don't care. The sparrow lives and sings
Mm.
songs. That's it. Because they know God got me.
That's it.
Period. So it was power behind going to the beach that day. Much as I love water, it was mandatory that my feet
Mm.
hit that water that day. My sister was like, "Oh, no, we can go next time." I said, "No, lies. On this day, we're going to Folly. We're going to Folly." And couldn't have
Ah,
been more happy. Yeah, so it's all
yeah.
in about perfect alignment. To even know you right now, to have been going through that direction at that time, it's a purpose in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what it is
Absolutely.
right now, but it'll reveal.
Yeah.
It'll reveal
Yeah.
in time.
Mm-hmm.
And just
Mm-hmm.
understanding that, you have to understand that because we want something and it doesn't look the way we thought it was going to look, it's okay. Embrace
It
that.
is.
Embrace
Mm-hmm.
that, because it's
And
always
it's,
greater.
yeah, always on the other side, always
Yeah.
something greater. And I think back, someone asked me a question inside of Water Walker. I talk about if he did it for Mary and for Martha too, I know he'll do it for me. I know he'll see me through. And
Yeah.
there's power in in your testimony.
Yeah.
There's power in you being a water walker and somebody watching you take that step and trusting in him and seeing your outcome that
Right.
encourages them along the way. I mean,
Right.
I think about Mary as like the ultimate water walker. She was a virgin, she was young, and she got pregnant and she birthed the savior. She literally was trusting. I mean, can you imagine that?
Yes.
She's the ultimate water walker, and you look at her like, good God, I know she had so much fear. I know she was terrified, but she trusted what she saw. She trusted the vision. She trusted
Exactly.
what God spoke to her and told her,
Right.
you are going to birth the Savior. And she believed, she hung on to his word. That's what he calls us to do. We actually have the Bible. She didn't have the Bible.
Right.
She
She
literally
had
just had
nothing.
nothing. But we actually have his words on paper that we can go back to every single day and say, God, I trust what you
Right.
said. And I
The proof.
believe that I'm going to see this thing come to fruition. And it may not be in my time, it may not be how I want it, but it's going to
Exactly.
be what you said. And I'm just going to take the step and I'm going to trust you in moving forward. And like you said, you probably don't know it right now. You don't see it right now. You don't understand
Mm-mm.
it right now. But
Mm-mm.
later on, you're going to be like, you know what? This was
You did
why.
it again.
You did it
Yes.
again, God. This is why you had me go through that. This is why
Yeah.
I met this person. This is why
Yes.
I lost that friend, or I lost this job, or I lost this contract. This is why, because you were setting me up for this other thing. So we have to trust
Amazing.
him in that. And there's so
Mm-hmm.
many, I'm sure, testimonies of that. And I just get excited. I'm like, if we latch on to this, if we all can encourage each other, be a water walker. Don't be a punk. Don't be a punk.
For
Don't be
what?
scared.
You better put your
Be
shoes on.
fearless.
You better do something. Left in front of right.
That's right. And walk.
No, and walk and
And
just
walk.
leave that thing where it is. I'm so hot right now. You still got the fan out. I get hot getting excited. Whew. Sweat is running throughout the scalp. I'm telling you. It is that hot.
I know. I know. I get excited too when you talk, when you really do think about it. You know, a lot of us are afraid to share our testimony. Like, oh, somebody's going to think you're bragging, or
Hmm.
somebody's going to think that you think you're better than them. No, it
No, it's
says
not that.
we are changed by the power of our
Right,
testimony.
right,
Somebody's going to hear this and say, you know what? I have been scared. I've had too much fear. I'm going to bring my
right.
fear down and bring my faith up. I'm
You
going to
better
begin
believe it.
speaking things that be not as though they were. Bible says 2 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 5 and 7, God says walk by faith and not by sight.
Not by sight.
Walk by
Yeah,
faith and not by sight. That's
yeah,
powerful. That's
yeah.
that's the crux of being a water walker, is saying, I'm going to walk in the faith, this thing I can't see. I'm going to
Right.
walk in that. Because if you look at what you see, you're going to stop. You're going to go back to the boat because the boat is
It's
safety.
distracting.
It's
Right.
distracted. Yeah,
Just do it.
just do it.
Like I'm saying, getting up in the mornings. Like it's been about 2, 3 weeks now, maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
And he just don't give me any fair warning. He'll just say on a certain day you need to do this or you need to do that, and I'm
Mm.
like, what are you talking about? You at it again. So when you say 7 o'clock in the morning, TVM inspirations, this very moment
Mm.
inspirations, and told me that in a 24-hour period. What are you
Wow.
talking about? Who's getting ready to do that? Who's getting ready to do her hair in the morning? It's all I can do on Mondays and Wednesday nights at 7 with building business, looking at clients, all this stuff. Like it's only 24 hours in a day. What are you talking about? Then I'll say, you know what? If Oprah can do it, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the same time, who rose her little self up and was now sitting online every morning through the week at 7 a.m. The thing is, I said, I'm serious. If we got to barter or something, who's going to be getting up that early to be doing her hair? He said, put a bandana. He said, put a scarf on your
Mm.
head. I'm like, who's going to do that? I mean, to go to sleep. But who's me? Wear a scarf on my head on air? Are you kidding me? I did it. So in the mornings, you will see me with that to do to do. You're gonna see it, and only at night on Monday, Wednesdays, you're gonna see my hair down. But the thing is, it's purpose in it. I again do not know what he wants me to do with that. So when you need to be inspired, that's what I'm going to be doing every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
And he just does those impromptus like that. It's like I look forward to it because again, I enjoy challenge. I enjoy challenge. Nobody will know. Nobody knows when you may need a word
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is. I have no idea, Jessica, what I'm going to talk about when I get up in the mornings.
Mm.
But before I hit that button, I know what I'm going to be talking about. And I'll just
Yeah.
talk about that and get on off. And so that's just making sure that I always do what he say do, how he say do
Mm-hmm.
it, when he say do it, and just leave it alone. I've learned just let it be and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be and do that because what is on the cusp of unveiling, I need to be prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
I better be
Mm-hmm.
prepared for it. This is preparation for something that's greater. So if you are respectful and obedient in the smaller things,
Yes. He will make you rule over
he will
many.
make he will make that possible.
Yes,
And
he
the thing
will.
is, I'm asking, please don't give me anything too large, because I'm a little gal. I just want to keep it, low key. I would love to keep it low key, but I already know in my spirit it's not going to be.
Mm.
It's not going to be because if I settle in that place, somebody somewhere is being missed. And if I'm not out here at the times when he's telling me to be in these spaces, then how am I going to reach them?
Right.
How?
Right.
Because you never know who's looking and listening. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, I'm just thrilled about it. I'm so thrilled. And
Yeah.
and Water Walk that's your second release.
Yeah, it's my second. My first song is called No Vacancy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was released in 2016 or 17. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember. But No Vacancy was a fun song to do, but it talked about literally having no space in our heart for the enemy, but being completely full of Christ. And so that was my first single. And that one actually was more of a, you have a bucket list, like, oh, I want to record a
Yes.
song.
Yes.
So I've recorded a song. It has meaning, and it's a beautifully written song. But Water Walker, there was a shift for me with Water Walker, where now it's about, it's ministry. And
It
this
is.
is a clarion call for God's children to rise up out of a place of fear and into a place of faith. And for us to all get on one accord to say, we're going to walk on the water. We're going to keep our eyes focused on Christ. And I believe that when we do that as believers,
There you go.
uh-oh,
There is a delay. I think something happened with the network. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, we went out for a
You
second.
can hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, it was really strange. I don't know what I can. We didn't hear what you said though. If you could repeat that, probably the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was saying, what's the Great Commission for us as believers is that we win souls for Christ. And one of the ways of doing that is stepping out of
Yeah,
faith and not being afraid to live your life as a Christian, being a banner for God and using your testimony
right,
to inspire others to take that walk and that step of faith with Him.
right.
And I also was saying, like it's powerful when we all as believers can get on that one accord and say, I'm going to be a water walker. I'm going to take that next step of faith. I'm going to open that business because your business may employ another believer. Like you may help them get out of that situation that they're
Exactly.
in. You just never know
Exactly.
what your step of faith is going to do to build the faith of somebody else. So we can't
Oh, it's
let
so
that fall.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just follow the wind
Hmm.
that you're being pushed toward.
Right.
And it's always a tug of war sometimes because you are fearing what somebody else is thinking. Put on the I don't care. You need
That's
to
it.
wear your I don't care attitude when it comes to that because life is to be lived. It's a mystery. You
Yeah.
have to follow suit. Whatever adventure you can wrap your arms around in the amount of time that you have, take advantage of that.
Hmm.
Have your stories to share, have your testimonies to share because it's necessary to do. It's a part of your growth, it's a part of you thriving in life because of the lessons that you've learned in the
Yeah.
midst of those trials. And it's not always about that, it's about celebrating the getting over that. It's power in that. So make sure,
Hmm.
ciao, ciao, Maddie. And just make sure that you share those stories. It's about you getting through it
Hmm.
so somebody else can do the same. It's about that.
Absolutely.
So just like
Absolutely.
Jessica wrote the songs, necessary. I enjoyed listening to it over and over and over. I'll play it. If she had never written it, if she had thrown it in the trash that one time and never went back to pick it up, none of us would be in the enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
If I had been disobedient and said, you know what, I'm not about to share my business, I'm not about to tell my stories, my hurts, my pains, the decisions that I've made, who I am now, who really needs to know that? Until I read reviews, until I spoke with people who actually read the book and how it helped them in their lives. Then it's the whole aha.
Hmm.
It wasn't about me. It was about me, yes. It was my story, but it was about helping somebody else to get through theirs
Absolutely.
because we have to be the voice at times when we don't want to be the voice. And when we have to stand up to do that, in our authentic spaces, sharing those stories, then there's somebody else who's not willing to do it. And if
Hmm.
everybody tuck their heads and hide up under the rocks, nothing will ever get done. There would be no
Absolutely.
songs, there would be no books, nothing.
Absolutely. And on in that vein, I heard you say something about, like being your authentic self. I
Hmm.
love that you said that because one of the things that, I've struggled with is I did grow up in a small town. I did go to a United Methodist church where everybody sang a certain way. They sang
Right.
traditional gospel and quartet, and I was never that person. I never sang like them. I didn't have a hard voice, and I couldn't do the growls and the runs and all of that. And I felt different. I felt like, okay,
Hmm.
well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't sing like, I don't fit in with honestly your traditional black people. I
Right.
don't. And that was hard for me. Even in releasing Water Walker, there were some seasons of doubt. I was like, God, where is my sound going to fit? I don't fit with black music, but I
Right.
don't quite fit with CCM either. I'm right
Right.
there in the middle of like this sound that I don't know. And he said, it's a Jesus sound. And it's going to
Period.
be for the person who
Hmm.
loves Jesus, period.
Right.
Doesn't matter what color they are. If they love Jesus and they feel a connection to it, the fact that they need to take a step of faith, they're going to listen to your music. And that helped me
Absolutely.
out. And so I just want to say to somebody who's on here who may feel like I'm different, I don't fit in with this genre or this crowd or this group. So what? Do
Who
you?
said you have
Who
to?
said that you have to? I'm a black girl who barely plays the guitar, but I play and I sing CCM, sometimes country music because I like it. I don't quite fit, but who
You fit
cares?
your
I
mold.
fit my mode and I'm being a water walker, doing what God
Right.
called me to do. I have to put fear to the side and say, you know what? I don't fit. But
I
if
don't
you,
fit,
I
but you
don't fit.
do. You fit your own space. And that's where authenticity comes from. If we never tap into ourselves,
Yeah.
then we're doing a disservice to ourselves. We're not growing,
Mm-hmm.
we're not becoming. And that's
Yeah.
an everyday situation. So being different, embrace that.
Yeah.
I know the feeling, oh, she talked like this. Oh, she dressed like that. Oh, you're bougie. Oh, what's that?
Mm.
No, I just like nice things. And I know how to create things because these are
Mm-hmm.
gifts, interior design. I know how to get what I need and create it if I can't find it. So that applies to you also.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you feel different, whoever you are, sparrow or water walker, when you feel different, embrace that. Embrace the difference
Please
because
do.
that's what makes you special.
Absolutely.
It's so many people that are carbon copies of each other, doing the same thing day in, day out. When
Yeah.
you come along and you're different, now you stand out in a positive. Make them curious.
Yeah.
Make them question what they're not doing or why am I
Ah,
doing the same thing as everybody else? But this person comes
absolutely.
along and create his or her own lane.
Mm-hmm.
Who said
Mm-hmm.
you have to follow the blueprint? I remember having that conversation with my instructor in design school when I was in design class. And I created a project. Amazing. Everybody loved it. And my instructor said, well, Valerie, how do you come up with the color scheme? I said, I liked it. And so she said, but you didn't use the color wheel. I said, who said I had to? And she said, well, that's what we do. We have to follow the color scheme in order to create in this class and as a designer. I said, well, how can we be designers creating images and lifestyles for everybody that's different? No two fingerprints are the same. No
Mm-hmm.
same stripe when it comes to a zebra or the spots on a leopard. So why would you tell me in this class that we all have to learn the exact same, do the same structures? Well, what makes us authentic? What makes us different? What makes us competitive in the market? She couldn't answer it. I said, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and continue to do this the way I want to do it. I think I am. Not to be rebellious or disrespectful. I say, you know what? I created it. I love it. You love it. The class loves it. It warrants an A. I'm not changing it because I refuse to be a part of something that everybody else is doing. I've never been a follower of groups. I've always stood differently. I've always
Mm-hmm.
stood alone when I had to. And there were always friends for certain people that I had around. But at the same time, when it comes to my career path and something that I'm passionate about, and I know God gave me the gift of, I'm taking this class just out of respect to take the class because of the genre. But at the same time, God taught me everything I needed to know about design. I didn't need school. That was me choosing to take the
Mm-hmm.
classes.
Mm-hmm.
However, I knew it all going into the class. So what's the point? When the instructor approach you and say, you didn't follow the color wheel. And I'm not going to, because if my clients want something, I'm going to create the vision and give them more than they're asking for. That's the whole point in that. So I say all of that to say this: follow your own
Mm-hmm.
streets.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where they go, no matter how you get there, follow that. If your heart is good with it, God is leading you to do that, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Because somebody else, whether if they're supposedly a higher authority or whatnot, respect them in the right space. But at the same time, if they're trying to muster you down and keep you from doing something that you know you're supposed to thrive and do, pray about it and move forward. That simple.
Yep. Do what
That
God calls
simple.
you to do.
Exactly.
That's it. Do what God told you to do. Follow him.
Follow him. But guess what? Our hour is up. I told you it was going to go so fast. I knew it was going to go so
Yeah,
fast.
time is up, but it's been great though. It really
It
has
has
been.
been
I
great.
hope someone's been encouraged.
I do too, and I believe so because there's quite a few comments and things that have come through. People have dropped in and out of the room, and usually, after the broadcast, we'll go in and respond to the comments and things like that, because we get so caught up in conversation to where I make attempts to go and catch some of the questions that might be out there, but then again, they fly by so fast and the time is
Yeah.
gone. The time is gone. So, how would the Sparrows be in touch with you in the event they wanted to reach out?
Yeah, I would love to hear from you. Please follow me on Facebook. Jessica Berry Worship is my music page. Please go in there and like and follow. I update you there on where I'll be in terms of ministry engagements. On Instagram and on Twitter, it's at I am Jessica Berry. You can follow me there at I am Jessica Berry. And if you want to email me about coming to your city, your church, your uh, conference, whatever you're having, I would love to be a part of that. And you can just send an email to jberryworship@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know how this broadcast has impacted you. And if you listen to Water Walker and you like it, let me know because I want to hear about all the new Water Walkers out there.
Yes, tons of them in the room. I'm going to be dropping in the room, all of
Yes.
that juicy stuff. However, you said you were going to give us a little snipping, a
Yeah.
snipping of it.
Water Walker. Yeah, let me grab my guitar.
Okay.
And Water Walker is available on all digital outlets. So anywhere you can download music, Water Walker is there. So please go
Great.
grab Water Walker. I'm going to try to play a
Great,
little
great,
bit
great.
for you real quick.
All right.
I looked out on the water, saw the waves turning. I stepped out on the water, heard the wind blowing. There was so much darkness, I was so afraid.
To the
I took
connection.
one step, headed right toward you, 'cause I knew that you would see me through. Oh, I'm walking on the water, keeping my eyes on you, walking on the water, step by step with you. Oh, I'm walking on the water, keeping my eyes on you. Jesus, you are my way maker. I'm a water walker, faith talker, step taker. Jesus, you are my way maker. So I'm keeping my eyes on you. I'm keeping
Love
my
it.
eyes on you.
Girl, I love that. I love that song.
Yes.
So
Thank
appropriate for
you.
everything. It is. Everything.
Absolutely.
Your faith has been
Absolutely.
tested. You're going through a rough patch. You just need some inspiration, a little push of motivation. It's that song. You can play
Yes.
it at any given time. So, like I said, I'm grateful you went through all you had to go through to write
Thank
it.
you. That's my
I
morning
am.
song. I get up and I'm like, I'm a water walker. You got to remind yourself, like,
Yeah.
who am I today? I'm a
Who am
water
I
walker.
today? Water Walker, Sparrow,
Yes,
fabulous. And remember
absolutely.
why. Remember
Yeah,
why. Because if it wasn't for God, if it wasn't for Jesus doing what they do, then we wouldn't be anywhere. We
absolutely.
wouldn't be anywhere. And that's just the greatest
Absolutely.
relationship we can ever have, to know that no matter at any time, we can turn to them and make it through. That's it. I thank you so much for coming on with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure.
Yes. Yes, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful that you took the time to do that. And I'm sure the
Yes,
Sparrows will go back, listen to the music, and download it from the different spaces. So
please.
that is what I'm excited about. And whatever you do, please make sure that you put your contact in comments,
Okay,
so they won't have to listen to the entire broadcast to go back just to get contact information. Anytime you want to
absolutely.
come back, feel free. You can. You're welcome. You've been
Thank you so
sparrowed.
much.
Yeah, you're family now.
I'm family.
You're family
I
now.
love it. I love
So
it.
yes, yes, feel free to do that. And much gratitude to everything that you touch. And anytime, because you never know when I may have to call and have you come in and participate with something, because I am building something huge.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm going to build something huge. So just know you'll be getting an invitation to participate in that when the time comes. And whatever he say do, I do.
That's right. I'll look
That's all
forward
I
to
know.
it. I believe
Yeah.
God is going to bless you immensely. So just stay in
Yeah.
His will. Yeah.
Honey, he is doing what he do. I just go ahead and let him. That's
Yes.
what I'm doing.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank
Is
you.
there anything you want to say before you go, chow? Anything at all?
Just God bless you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. Go and be a water walker. Yes, take that step. No more fear. Fear less.
Fear less.
Fear
Less.
less.
Less. Thank you so much,
All
Jess.
right, take care.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Sparrows, that's it. We have had the fabulous Jess Berry on with us tonight, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you coming in, spending time with us. Be a water walker, continue to be a sparrow. It's all about you being fabulous. Do not get in my broadcast. And Madison's trying to creep in on my broadcast. Told her before, don't you come bum rushing on my broadcast. And she's inching and trying it. She's trying it. However, I love you all to pieces. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I look forward to seeing you all again super soon. Have the remaining of your week fabulous and on top. I'll see you again on Wednesday night at 7 and again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So, love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Smooches.